What is up, guys? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed. Today I'm going to be doing Reviewed number 29, and I'm going to be reviewing X-Men 3: The Last Stand, which is the third and final installment in the X-Men trilogy.
So this movie was actually really fantastic. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot about this movie that made it better than the second one, even though I like the second one still. Um, this was also the first time that we see Beast in action, like as a character. He was actually referenced in the first one. Hank McCoy made an appearance in the first one on a television screen, but he never actually made it in the actual movie as the character, the Beast. And so we get this, we get Beast as this, I guess, college professor in this like suit jacket, or sort of like that. I think it's just like a professor or a doctor or something, or he's a doctor, so he's like in a suit and everything. And even though, funny thing, he dresses in his suit and he has like the blue fur and everything, which is kind of weird. Um, but yeah, I think it's like the head of security or something, the head of something, some board. I can't remember exactly what it was. But it's basically the movie is about the well, I think it's about the X-Men finding a cure. There's a cure is found for the X-Men for their mutation, so they can fix what's happening to them. Like, I mean, unfortunately, the only one actually wants to fix about what's happening to her is Rogue because she doesn't like power, which is saying something. Because she doesn't like actually having the ability to take people's powers or like hurt them with her power. That's her power, so she wants to get rid of that. So it's basically it movie it sets up an entire war between the X-Men and Brotherhood. So that's what happens in the movies. They go on fighting. And there's also several characters that get introduced for a longer period of time. Bobby Drake has, well, he's you can see him in more action, I'd say. You get to see him a lot more action. And Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde she gets her first debut appearance as Shadowcat, the girl who can walk through walls. She's played by Ellen Page. So it's the same cast as before. You got Patrick Stewart as Professor Charles Xavier, aka Professor X. You get Ian McKellen as Eric Blanchard, aka Magneto. You get Famke Jensen as Jean Grey, who's later in the movie she becomes Phoenix, or Dark Phoenix, because at the end of the second one you see that she basically is left she decides to be left behind. She doesn't get left behind. She decides to be left behind. She says, okay, I'm gonna be left behind, so she does that. She gets left behind, and then that sets up for the next one, which is X-Men 3: Last Stand. And really weird about this movie is the way it's marketed. Now, it's just like the second one. This one was also marketed weirdly. So the second one was marketed X2, and then I guess in some other territories it was just called it was X-Men United, which is kind of weird. And this movie was also marketed weirdly, where it was marketed in the film as X-Men: The Last Stand. However, there have been people who have called it X-Men 3: The Last Stand, or just X-Men 3. But no, it's not one of those trilogies that just makes it. They just call each movie differently. It's kind of weird. I mean, all trilogies do that, but this particular trilogy, it's kind of the reason why I didn't do this movie review in a trilogy, because of just the way they've marketed the movies individually. Um, I mean, that's just me, but so yeah, it's basically about that. They're all basically like doing that, and the big thing that happens between the X-Men is the death of Professor X, who's actually killed by Jean Grey because, well, he's killed by Jean Grey in her Phoenix version. Like, she's all phoenixed out. Like, by that I mean like she's turned into the Phoenix version of herself. which is like the superpower for mutant. He's basically even stronger than Professor X himself. And so what happens is Professor X, and Professor X and well, yeah, I think it's Professor X and Magneto come to her house, to track her down to her house, where because earlier she woke up in this bed, and no memory of what happened the previous time, and she becomes the Phoenix spread out, and she walks out and she goes crazy. But they try to track her down at her original house, and then that's the point where it just goes crazy. The whole house kind of goes shaking, and Jean Grey accidentally kills Derek, which is a big it really impacts um it really impacts the team, the X-Men. So yeah, another big part about the movie is that the new character from the Brotherhood, which is basically the other part of Magneto. It's like Magneto's team, Professor's team, so it's basically Magneto's team. The Juggernaut. He basically was an Australian mutant who basically is strong ass guy he basically has a helmet and his armor, and he can like he basically crush through walls. He can like just like punch through walls with his body. Like it just like pounded through it. That's what he can do. So it's pretty much that. He can do that. It's pretty awesome. So actually in a part of the movie you see Magneto recruit Juggernaut because unfortunately Mystique dies. Uh, I can't remember what actually. Oh wait. Oh yeah, yeah. So a cop was in the van that they were. I don't know if it's a van. I don't know. Some kind of vehicle thing, and they get him. They get him out, but also there's a police officer that for his dying action he fires a poisonous thing at Mystique, which changes her. Well, basically, or actually, it's the cure. It's the he's got I believe he's got it's like a dark gun or something that is a little bit of cure for the X-Men, so they can cure their powers, basically their mutation, and so that he fires into the Mystique, and it basically turns her back into what she was originally, which is this weirdly enough she has like black hair, but I mean she it basically turns back into Rebecca Romijn, actually, the actress, with black hair, weirdly enough, because that actor actually had blonde hair, but she's like all of a sudden she's naked, but of course she doesn't show it. But basically that's the end of Mystique right there. We do get some Mystique, but it's not like huge. Um, so yeah, that's a really cool thing that happened. Also, I think in the movie, Neo gets out of his classic prison. I think I talked about that last week in X2, but I think this thing happens in this movie where he gets out, where Mystique puts metal into this officer, and he goes to Magneto and he puts the metal out and gets out, and that's how he goes to Brotherhood, and everything goes crazy. And he gets all the mutants. He gets a fast one. He gets spiky haired one. It's just crazy. Um, and then there's actually no Cyclops in this movie. Well, technically there is, but he's like absent for most of the movie. He's not even in the movie hardly. Like you see him walk up to this rock formation, and you see him like see Jean Grey, and then suddenly he's gone, and his glasses are gone. And that's pretty much all you see from him. Um, I mean, what's really weird enough is that you see Cyclops in the promotional images for X-Men 3, this movie, which is really weird because he's not actually in the movie very much. Like the character of Cyclops doesn't actually get much screen time at all. Besides that, at least as far as I remember, he doesn't get much screen time besides that. And the only actually part he actually gets of screen time of his actual character Cyclops, Scott Summers, was the beginning of the movie where they're basically training and they're fighting against a Sentinel, which is actually going to be a huge part of Days of Future Past storyline, the comics, and also the movie too, which I've already reviewed if you already watched that. and so they are this huge thing they're fighting they're basically it's the simulation makes it look like they're fighting a war or they're all like working together in this battlefield like fight for Sentinel, which is basically what they're fighting. You get like Wolverine, you get Bobby Dre, you get Storm, which actually looks different in this movie. From the first movie, she has longer hair. She has long hair, and in the second movie she has shorter hair, but it's still kind of shoulder length. And in this movie she's like kind of like she's the same hair, but it's like has like black streaks in it, which is kind of weird. Um, it's very different from what you expect from Storm. I mean, she's played the same actress, Halle Berry. I'm just saying Pemmican Jones, that's Jean Grey. Yeah, Halle Berry plays Storm, but she's a little different. I think she's a slightly different costume, but she has different hair. It's shorter and it's like straight with black streaks in it, which is not a bad thing. I like the second one better. I don't know. She kind of felt more, I guess, sexier. I guess I don't know. Um, with these superheroes, I get carried away. But that was a huge part of it. And actually, that was kind of funny. There's a couple of funny lines from Wolverine where he's saying that's the last cigar, and during the big battle scene between the X-Men and the Brotherhood, he says, try growing those back. Because I think it was a mutant that couldn't grow things back easily or something like that. I think it was actually a mutant that could grow things back, but he chopped off something that could cause him to not do it. I don't even want to know. I can't remember what it was. Um, so yeah, that was a great part of the movie. And so that was just about the X-Men going to war against the Brotherhood, and that's pretty much how it goes. And you finally get the first appearance of Beast in the movie, aside from the prequel trilogy, starting with X-Men First Class with Apocalypse. That was Young Beast, and this is the first time we get Beast. I don't actually know what caused it to them to take this long. I mean, it wasn't directed by Bryan Singer. I think he directed the first two movies in the X-Men trilogy, but I don't remember exactly. I know he directed the first one. I don't know about the second one. I think he did the second one. I could be wrong about that. But he did not direct the third one, and that's why the third one is differently, and that's why it's marketed differently as X-Men Last Stand instead of X-Men 3. However, doesn't really matter. But this is the first time we get Beast, and there's a great line that Beast says where he puts on this uniform, and this kind of goldish. It looks kind of yellowish with the black, which is a nod to the comics. And I know that because I've looked into the comics and I've seen what they look like. Um, and there's a line he says where I can't believe this one's hit me, which is a reference to comic book counterpart apparently. I guess that's the idea. I mean the only other reference it could be is X-Men First Class, but I could be wrong about that. I don't actually know. He's played by Kelsey Grammer. It looks different parts. His makeup is different. Surprisingly, there's no Nightcrawler. I don't actually remember what happened to Nightcrawler. I know that what happened at the end of X-Men 2 is that Nightcrawler was in the jet, the X jet, that they ended that movie, and that was the last we heard of him. I don't know what happened to him after that. I really don't know. I really wish I knew what happened to him because he's a great character. I liked him. Uh, but yeah, it was a great movie. There's some good moments in it. I liked it a lot. It was different. It was a different movie than I expected. I mean, it wasn't boring. It was all like what I expected. I loved it. It was pretty good. It was also this kid who can basically take away mutation. I think it's this bald kid. I think it's something to do with like his like dying of cancer. I don't even know what happened about that character, but he is this character who can do something like that. I don't actually remember what it was. Um, but yeah, this movie. I mean, also the theme to me was different. It was not the that I can't really. I'm not a good hammer when it comes to theme music, but you get the idea of what I mean. It's the X-Men theme song. So it was decent. I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was some good moments. It was one of those movies that's not boring like the first one was. It was immersive in terms of like you want to keep watching, you want to keep knowing what's happening next. Um, so yeah, and also there's a character that is introduced in this movie, known as Angel, and Angel is a character that basically has the ability to fly. He basically can grow wings. In the beginning of the movie, or I think towards the beginning of the movie, just before the credits, the X Men theme music and the opening titles begin, is this kid who's basically trying to chop off his wings. I mean, you see all this blood and everything; it's gross. But you see, he doesn't want this on him. He just wants to get rid of it. He's this little kid. He wants to get rid of the wings because he's mutated into this creature. Well, by that I mean by creature I mean like he has wings. He basically doesn't want wings. I guess he's scared to have them or something. So he's trying to chop them off. And later on, he grows into this adult. Grows up into a teenager, and he is ready to take his experiment of I think removing the wigs or something like that. I don't actually remember what happened. But his father was there, and he was telling him it's going to be okay. And then suddenly he's like, I can't do it anymore, and he runs off. And he becomes Angel, which is a character that was featured in X Men Apocalypse. So they is a much younger version of either a much younger version of the one featured in this movie, or an alternate reality or alternate parallel universe version. Because the Daisy Page passed everything went crazy in the timelines. Um, so yeah, I mean, some of the greatest moments I think are really great. I mean, there was no X Men original stuff in terms of the costumes. It's still the same kind of thing. I love to see Beast in action. This is great. I mean, I like it. I loved it when I saw Beast in action. That was awesome. Um, I thought that the whole movie was great. The whole battle scene between the X Men and Brotherhood was great. I mean, this was something awesome because you don't have Professor X anymore, which is really interesting because he wasn't in the he was in the movie, but he was like not important. He was not he was killed off early in the movie, so you don't really get to see much. And this is actually really cool because this is actually the first time we see Stan Lee since the first movie, because, in terms of cameo appearances. He wasn't in the second movie for some reason. I mean, there have been times where Stan Lee just has not appeared in the movie because I think for Days of Future Past, he wasn't in them because he was in somewhere else. And I think for Wolverine, he was he was like also pretty busy. But for this movie, he finally made an appearance as basically the water hose man. He's carrying a hose, hosing off his lawn or whatever, and the water floated up because of Jean Grey's powers. And and then there's Stanley right there, which is pretty cool, I gotta say. Um, there's one thing that really kind of really kind of went a little weird is when we saw um, Professor X for the first time as a younger version of himself, which was basically a 40-year younger version of him. I'm guessing it because they digitally made him look younger, and it was not a bad thing. Sometimes in movies, when you digitalize someone to make them younger slash different, it just looks terrible. It looks messy. It looks choppy. And it just does not look nice at all. It doesn't look good. Um, so yeah, there was some surprisingly an amount of good stuff in this movie that I liked. The thing I hated, um, yeah, I, I, I guess. Well, hey, I wouldn't really say that. Did not like. I did not like. The only thing I did not like about this movie was the fact that we finally got Beast. I mean, seriously, it's taken forever to come out. It was actually surprisingly enough, it's really cool because each movie in the X Men trilogy took 3 years to make, or at least release. You got X Men in 2000, and then you got X Men 2 in 2003, and then you got X Men: The Last Stand in 2006. So that's all 3 years right there. Uh, but yeah, I mean, some great. The movie itself was fantastic. I loved it. I thought that every part about it was great. Um, some of those mutations with some of the powers were really cool. I like there's this girl who can she's basically the Flash. She can like move really fast or teleport really fast. I don't even know the idea. She's really fast and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. Um, Storm's look was the most changed. I thought. I mean I didn't hate it, but I also didn't like it. I didn't. I thought it was just kind of when you change a character. The problem with character development is if you change your character too much, they just don't look good anymore.
I mean, not all characters do that, but like some of them do, and they just look terrible. I mean, Storm, she didn't look terrible. She didn't. I mean, I think what stood out is her hair. Her hair did look different, way different than I'm expecting it to. I mean, some movies that I see and the character looks different in the next movie, it I mean, it depends on how much change you do. If it's only a minor change, like in the second one where they made her hair shorter, just a tiny bit shorter with her shoulders, that's okay. But if you take one measure more with some characters in the movies, it just looks bland and it's not good. Um, so yeah, the end of the movie actually was really cool because you see for the first time Moira McTaggart, which is actually a character featured in X Men First Class and also X Men Apocalypse. She's basically the sort of love interest to Charles Xavier essentially, which is pretty cool, I gotta say. And I mean, it's the first time you see her, and it turns out that the Transmax is actually alive. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know that? Like, well, of course he is. He's basically the Batman or the Loki the Batman of the Marvel universe. Say Loki because Loki is also the Batman of the Marvel universe, but Transmax is also the Batman of the Marvel universe because he can't die. He knows a way to not die. Like he's always there. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit of this movie I liked. I thought the stuff with Jean Grey was really good. That was a great part of the movie, where she is like completely taken control of by the Dark Phoenix, and she now sides with the Brotherhood, which is intense. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's also a scene where she takes apart a gun and like put the fire at Magneto and like Magneto to stop it over, and that's like, come close to it. But yeah, I mean, there's some crazy part of that movie that I really liked. There's a really cool scene where it's just after Professor X dies, and it's where Bobby Drake takes Shadow Cat, or in this case, Kitty Pryde. He takes her to the pond or whatever, the thing that has the water fountain on it. He freezes it and then he basically ice skates through that, which is really cool. I mean, I thought that was the effects that they made. I mean, what a lot of things about the movie was the effects of the powers, the abilities of the visual effects have it are really great. I mean, it's just the fact that the visual effects for the powers were just really nice. I like them a lot. They're really clean and sharp and just visually amazing. I love that. I just loved it. Colossus didn't even get an appearance. It was much better. It was much more major than the second one. He only made like one appearance, and it was like a brief appearance. But in this movie, he gets more of an appearance. Colossus basically this mutant who can basically turn himself into this like um, metal thing. He basically can turn his skin metal, and not just his skin, his whole body metal, which is pretty cool. And he basically like this giant brick or whatever. He's basically pretty strong. Um, and the Juggernaut was a great character too. I think actually, I believe he's played by the same actor who plays Heatwave in DC's Legend of Tomorrow, which is a DC show on the CW. He plays by the same actor who played Juggernaut. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I can positively say that's true. So Juggernaut, yeah, I explained that where Juggernaut is basically this guy who can just go crazy and just like go like that. And Mystique's the character Mystique, she's for the first time revealed, or yeah, revealed for the first time since ever in terms of the original trilogy of this X-Men universe as a Raven Darkhold. She's just referred to as Mystique in the other ones, but in this movie she's specifically referred to as Mystique, which is really interesting because that's never actually happened before. She's just been referred to as Mystique. And this movie was great because it's referred to as Mystique in this movie. It's just awesome. Um, so yeah, I liked that a lot. I thought that was really really cool. How that happened. So yeah, I think that's about it for all I can say for X Men: The Last Stand. Um, it was good for being in this time of The Last Stand. It was great because it's the last stand of the X Men, and And also, Jean Grey does die at the end, which is pretty sad because like Wolverine had a big crush on her and like he was like, no, wait. However, the story does continue in the next movie, which is called The Wolverine. I will do a review on that, just not yet. I have a couple of other review of movies I want to do, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, what I liked about the movie, good good character dynamics in terms of powers. The visual effects were good. The acting, just the mutants themselves were really cool. The cons of it, I didn't like the fact that I thought it was just Beast, simply Beast. That's my negative. Just that they waited this long to put Beast in the movie. I mean, they had all these references. They had like they were talking about him earlier that like finally took this long to make Beast in the movie. I mean, we get more of him in the prequel trilogy X Men movie with James McAvoy, but seriously, it doesn't take this long. You don't. I mean, come on. How hard is it to put a character like Beast in a movie that's about that where he's in the team? It's just like I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense at all. Um, that's pretty much all I can say about the cons. There's not really any cons about the movie I hated. I like the battle scenes a lot. I like the fight scenes. They're really cool. I thought the character of Angel was really cool. It's the flying stuff. That was just cool. I love the powers, the visual effects, the acting, everything about it was really good. I like how they're keeping with the movie. They're just kind of keep moving on with the X movies. I think there's one more coming. Say the 1998. But I don't actually know when it's coming out. I think they announced that they're gonna make another one, but I don't know when. But yeah, that's all I can say about X Men 3: The Last Stand, or just simply X Men 3. Um, yeah, or in this case, marketed as X Men: The Last Stand, which is a little silly. um, but yeah, um, in terms actually one more thing I think the one power that I liked a lot was the Pride Shadowcat's power. That was really cool. I love like that. I mean, yeah, I also like the girl that they can teleport really fast or really fast. Or she can basically teleport. Yeah. Um, yeah, I like that, and I like Kate Pride's character. That was cool. Ellen Page did a really nice job at that. So yeah, that's all I can say about X Men: The Last Stand or X Men 3. Um, anyway, yeah. Um, Rating, I would give it a 8 out of 10 because of Beast, because because they took this long to put him in the movie. Um, and it just took forever. I didn't like that. That was just it didn't need to be that long to put Beast in the movie. It really did not. I really wish they gave him screen time in the second one because it really didn't make sense. Anyway, so yeah, that'll do it for this episode of Review. Um, Thank you for watching. And if you did like it, then please give it a thumbs up. It really is appreciated. And subscribe to this channel for more of these reviews. And yeah, I will see you next time for the next episode. Alright, see ya.